Hi everyone, Jess here from the Equipment Guide. Welcome to our review of the best inflatable kayaks in Australia for 2026. In this video, we'll share the advice we would give our best mate if they were buying an inflatable kayak. We'll break down what you get for your money, and we'll share our step-by-step guide on how we ranked and compared this year's lineup. And just like before, we've included foldable kayaks because for people looking for an inflatable, what they really want is something portable. What you'll see today is us testing all of these kayaks in the same conditions. A little bit windy, but mostly okay. We've also tested these kayaks in multiple different types of conditions, choppy water and still as well. When friends and family ask us about inflatable kayaks, here are the big questions that come up. Will they puncture on me? Cheap inflatable kayaks can, but the higher end kayaks use heavy duty PVC and they're pretty rugged. They can take a beating. They're built similar to rescue boats. How do they perform in the water? The best inflatable kayaks can outperform hardshell kayaks in speed and tracking. Some of the cheaper models often wobble around and they're hard to stay steady. This is due to the differences in material and hull design. Let's talk about hull design. You'll ideally want to get an inflatable kayak that is as close to a recreational hardshell kayak as possible. The best things about recreational hardshell kayaks is that they have a rounded bottom that balances stability and cut through. Over here, we have a bit of an older model, which is the standard I-beam design. One step up from that is a material covered I-beam design. It's quite spongy compared to some of the other models we'll see in a second. The next step up again is the drop stitch floor with side tubes. This is incredibly stable. Moving on, we have a full drop stitch hull, and it's more of like a bathtub shape. We have a V-shaped kayak here, which isn't very stable, but has great cut through. And the most innovative design is the rounded drop stitch hull. It's quite stable and it has great cut through. When we talk about material, we have three different categories. We have a lower end vinyl, which on the positive, it is a lot cheaper, but it's not very durable. The next step up is a material covered vinyl, which is definitely more durable, but the downside is because it's a material, it takes longer to dry and you could get mold. The next step up again is a heavy duty PVC, which is reinforced and is woven mesh. It's really durable, it's really easy to clean and to dry. Is setup a hassle? That depends. Some kayaks have 7 or 8 inflation points and they take a little while, whereas others have 2 or 3 and they go quite quick. We'll go through all of that when we go through each category. What about the included pumps and paddles? Honestly, most bundled pumps and paddles are quite average. We'd highly recommend you source a higher quality paddle and a better quality pump. When we blew all of these up, we used an electric pump and it saved us so much unnecessary labor. You can now get portable electric pumps so you're no longer tethered to your car, which is a much more convenient option. We tested and scored all of the kayaks across 5 different categories: performance, construction, setup and pack down, portability, and comfort. More details are available at our website at theequipmentguide.com.au. At the end of each category, we'll put up our rankings, so feel free to pause and take a closer look. Performance looks at how well the kayak paddles, maneuvers, and tracks. This is where the biggest differences show. The Razor Kayak's Edge Pro was the clear standout because of its rigid, smooth materials and rounded hull shape that help track straight while also staying super maneuverable. The Advanced Elements Expedition Elite is also excellent, built for long-distance touring. In general, we found higher-end kayaks cut much better through the water and more efficient to paddle. On the budget end, models like the Intex Challenger and Excursion Pro K1 are much slower, harder to track, and better suited to beginners who just want to mess around in calm water. Construction is next, and that looks at durability, materials, and build quality. Some of the cheaper kayaks are designed more like a dinghy or use lower grade materials that could puncture. Instead, we look for high density PVC and ideally some form of drop stitch, which is internal threads holding together the outside layers of fabric. So when it's inflated, the internal pressure creates a really hard surface. The Expedition Elite and Primal Predator use this on the floor, the Edge Pro 1 and Tomahawk on the full hull. In portability, we talk about weight, pack size, and how easy it is to carry. This is where the ultralights come in. The Oro Lake and Coco Pelly Moki Light are incredibly easy to carry and pack. The Razor R1 Ultra is also a great portable option at around 8 kilos. Overall, when you're comparing the big brands in our ratings, they were only a few points apart. So you can see in our graph that in terms of portability, there's not a huge difference between the top brands. And just a note here on this category, some kayaks, like the Intex Challenger, are able to get a smaller size and weight because they use a lower grade PVC, which is more susceptible to puncture. So we factor this into our overall portability score to ensure the ratings accurately reflect the quality of the kayak. Setup and pack down relates to inflation time, drying, and storage. This can make or break your paddling day. You're ideally looking for something with fewer inflation points and an outer layer of toughened PVC. This is the major drawback for us with many of the advanced elements kayaks. They're excellent in the water, but slower to set up because they generally have more inflation points and take longer to dry because of the fabric covers. There are plenty of others out there like the Air Glide range, higher-end aqua marina kayaks, Sea Eagle, and Razor that have 3 valves and toughened PVC outer, which we've found so far the quickest to set up and pack down. Foldables don't need pumping at all, but you do have to fold them out, which takes practice and sometimes a bit of strength. Comfort. In this category, we look at space, seating, and overall paddling experience. Comfort is about more than just the seat. It's legroom, paddling position, and how natural it feels in the water. The Edge Pro and Expedition Elite both score high here, with excellent seating and paddling ergonomics. Shoutouts as well to the Primal Predator, which we'd happily sit in for hours. At the other end, the Intex Challenger felt cramped, with limited cockpit space. All right, the all-important budget question. There are always outliers, but at the time of our review, we broke things down into 3 main categories. Under $800. You're honestly not going to find something in this category that's very well crafted. It's probably going to be made of cheaper materials and ultimately may puncture on you in the long run. If you only have this much to spend, you might be taking a gamble. We suggest spending a little bit more if you can. The next category is the $800 to $1,200 range. In this category, you're going to get a really good kayak. It just might be a bit slower or bulkier in the water compared to the higher end kayaks, but it is still going to be really good and durable. Our best value kayak is in this category. Then you've got the over $1,200 range. This is going to get you a kayak that is great to paddle in the water, extremely durable, and will last you a long time. If you have the money, you won't regret it. So overall, this is where we landed. So you can see the blue lines represent the overall rating of the kayaks out of 100, and the orange dots represent the price of each kayak, indicated on the right. The Razor Kayak's Edge Pro 1 was the clear standout for us. It's easy to set up and pack down, really fast and comfortable, but the main thing is that it's enjoyable to paddle. Other notable mentions were the Advanced Elements Expedition Elite, which takes longer to set up, but is great in the water, and the Primal Predator, which is our pick for fishing. The Razor Kayaks R1 Ultra is our pick if you're on a budget, but it also ranks highly for its lighter weight and stability. Callouts also to the Advanced Elements Advanced Frame Elite, which performs really nicely on the water. That's our full breakdown of the best inflatable kayaks in Australia right now. For more details, go to theequipmentguide.com.au for a full in-depth written review and testing notes. If you liked this video or if you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We would also love to hear about your inflatable kayak experiences in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the water.